This could be his best weekend of the year. So it's be a couple of guys that I like to watch out for on that.
He definitely has that KTM on a rail here this weekend after what we just saw in morning warm-up. There's Al Luddington. He's the technical director for all of the properties at AMA Pro. As your front row arrives on the scene, there's the pair of Monster Energy Graves Yamaha riders. On pole is number 4, Josh Hayes. Center front row, number 2, Cam Beaubier. Outside front row, number 95, for the Yoshimura Suzuki factory team, Roger Hayden. Beth Miller at the head of the class. She's got the red flag down now. It all comes down to man and machine. Visors are down. Bikes go into gear. We're waiting for that light to go out, and it does. And whoa, Cam Beaubier had a bumpy start. He almost killed the engine on the start, and they head off into turn number 1, and Roger got a really good start.
Well, there you go. Josh leads it into 1, and Cameron did not get the start he was hoping for. And this is definitely not what the competition wants to see. Somebody needs to get in front of that number 4 and try to balk him. The best shot they got is getting a good run off of him down this back straightaway.
They do not want to give this guy any daylight whatsoever, or he will leave the balance of this field in a very, very dark place the way he is running here this weekend. Josh Hayes will lead him down that first straight, and he's got a number 95 of Roger Hayden in the draft in tow. Cam Beaubier in the 3 spot.
Well, Cam's done a good job to might work his way back into 3rd already, because I think he was 5th going into turn 1, Barry. And he's right there parked on Roger Hayden's rear wheel, it looks like.
Might be a good time to say thank you to Scott Russell for enduring the 9.5-hour road trip to be at my right-hand side here this weekend. Scott, I can't thank you enough. We need you.
Well, I appreciate that. I'm glad to be here. But this is what we're here for right now. This is what we've been waiting on. Yesterday, Cam down the inside. He's looking to make a move on Roger as they swoop through turn 11 down through Thunder Valley for the first time, Barry.
Oh, this is good stuff. Roger Hayden having a good go of it here. He's been pretty quiet this weekend. We haven't seen much out of him, but we haven't seen much out of anyone. Rain-impacted day yesterday. They didn't get much track time. Josh has got about 4 bike links on him. Not what we need to see. Cam Beaubier is certainly looking for a way around Roger right now.
He's trying to set him up right here and get a good run. Here he comes. Down the inside. He's got a wheel on him up the inside as they break for turn 1. Let's see if we can make that move stick. Roger held him off. Roger's going to run a little bit wide, but Roger's got the right line as they go into this fast kink down here.
Whoa.
This is turn 2, super fast right here.
Cam
Barry.
took a look down the inside. Roger slammed the door on him. Roger Hayden is having none of it. He said, I'm in the 2 spot. I do not want to have to chase those Monster Energy Graves Yamahas all day, but right now Cam did find a little bit of room on the inside, and he'll make the move up into the 2 spot, and that'll put the 2 Monster Energy Graves Yamaha 1-2, and in the 3rd and 4th spot, the Yoshimura Suzuki teams.
Yeah, Martin looks like he's looking to pounce on his teammate. Not going to happen. What happened, Roger ran into the keyhole just a little bit too quick. Wasn't able to hold the line. That opened the door for Cam. That was a perfect for Cameron Beaubier. Not so good for Roger.
And as you said, in our little brief open pre-race, number 11, Chris Fillmore, having a good morning warm-up, and he is right up in the thick of things, Scott. He's in the 5th spot right now and pressing hard.
Going to have to really ride hard to keep these Suzuki riders in sight. We know he's been a little bit off the pace as far as straight line speed goes, but I think the handling of that KTM is pretty good, and this is a handling rider's racetrack, so we'll see what he can parlay that into.
So Chris Fillmore's job right now, I'm assuming, Scott, is to not put a wheel wrong, hit all his marks, and be very, very, very smooth on that twin.
That's right. And you can see the 2 Yamaha riders already with a 10-15 bike length lead over the 2 Suzuki riders. And now Cameron Beaubier's got the man he wants to be right in his sights. But Josh is never going to lay down and let him have it.
The encouraging thing for Cam Beaubier right now is he is definitely in the hunt. He is keeping himself attached right to the rear wheel of the man who has the ability to sweep both races here today. And right now, Cam Beaubier looks very determined to prevent that from happening.
Yeah, I think, the way his season's gone, he can kind of just throw caution to the wind right now and really let it go, and I think Josh will be riding with a little bit of a different mindset today.
Cam takes a hard look down the inside, maybe perhaps not totally committed to making the pass, but wanting to show his teammate a wheel. He is certainly putting a little pressure on him right now.
Well, it's an intense braking zone into turn 6, I can tell you, especially coming down in there as quick as they are on these super bikes. And you get down the inside of a rider, you want to make it stick. And maybe he just didn't feel like he had enough momentum going for him that time. He decides to fall back in line.
So Cam Beaubier has 2 wins to his credit. He's also had a number of podiums, even though a 13th at Road America have hurt him pretty good in the points chase. Right now, his teammates got about a 40-point advantage on him. Cam, you're right, can throw caution to the wind. The goal for Cam Beaubier right now is to get up there and beat his teammate here in race number 1. No doubt that's what he's got on his mind.
Well, Roger looks like he's got a little bit of breathing room now over Martin Cardenas, his teammate. Not much, but just that little bit. Maybe it's just taking Roger a couple laps to get his groove on right now, and now maybe he can make a run back at these Yamahas up front.
Martin's still in the hunt here. He's definitely got his teammate in sight, but as Scott said, Raj has a little bit of breathing room, couple of bike links. That's not very much in Superbike, though. If he makes the tiniest mistake, his teammate will be all over him. But right now, Roger's got a good line around the racetrack, and he continues to motor on ahead of his teammate.
He did get a good drive out of that keyhole, which is really important down here at the other end of the straightaway for top end speed, and also keeping the rider behind you off your back and any chance of him out braking you. So he's done a great job right there. I think you're going to see Roger make a little run here.
Okay, I like that forecast. We'll find out how it works out. Right now, we'll take a little bit deeper look into the field. As we know, we've got up at the head of the class, number 4, Josh Hayes. And Rob McClendon sends us a tweet or something that says, did they jump? And the answer is no. I just heard over the radios a moment ago, Rob, that we are clean, and the start is an official start. So your race leader continues to be number 4, Josh Hayes.
Cameron looks like he's a little bit quicker. He was able to run Josh down. Now he goes to the inside to go up into 1. He decides that's not really going to work right there. But he definitely looks like he's got the speed in him today to get this done. It's just a matter of where can he make the move on the number 4, Josh Hayes.
And Rob, I saw the same thing you did, partner, but can't explain it to you, but that apparently is the way that it is. So right now up front, it is number 4, Josh Hayes. Number 2, Cam Beaubier in the 2 spot. Number 95, Roger Hayden running 3rd. Number 36, Martin Cardenas in the 4th spot. Continuing along in the 5th spot is number 11, Chris Fillmore, with Aussie Dave following him. Taylor Knapp, number 44 on the TLBC Suzuki. Behind him, Chris Clark, Pegram, and Frankie Babuska. That's kind of a little quick look, at least, in the order.
This is the lower part of the racetrack down to the 7, 8, 9, 10 area. Pretty tricky right here over the top of that hill. The bike gets super light. This as well, really light on the acceleration. You just want to wheelie off the backside, and they run through this Thunder Valley right here, Barry, and it really gets narrow as they come through here, and you can see the track wrapped in Armco right there. A real flat corner right there where you got to be patient to get back on the gas, and another tricky little entrance to this corner up and over a hill, and just a long duration, a lot of lean angle for a long time. Got to be super patient right here to get that good drive on the front straightaway.
It looked like Roger Hayden was running a little higher line, Scott. Could he be trying a few different lines here to close the gap a little bit?
Yeah, it just depends on how his bike's handling. It's easy to get in a little bit hot, and then maybe you have to let it run out wide. It's hard to know what really is going on with Roger's bike and in his head right now, but he's tried to shake off his teammate. He hasn't been able to really do that. I thought for a minute that he might make a run at these Yamahas, but I think now they're really getting it going right now, and I think it's going to be real tough for the 95 and the 36.
Perhaps it would be interesting to know tire choices on the Yoshimura Suzuki factory bikes, too. Maybe they're planning for a charge at the end.
Well, there you go. There's a move down the end of the back straightaway, and Cam takes over the lead. He lined his teammate up perfectly, got a great drive down that straightaway, and just a textbook out-braking maneuver, which means you just leave the brake a little bit later than the guy you're trying to get by.
And for those of you that were texting and sending us tweets about timing and scoring pages over at Cortec Live Timing, that apparently was a little bit of a glitch. As I assured you, the running order as you see it on the racetrack is correct, and the start was clean. Now they've got Cam back up in his rightful spot. Well, actually, when he crosses the stripe, he'll go to the head of the order here. Cam Beaubier leading him for the first time today, and he's got about a 3 bike length advantage on his teammate. Martin's looking a little bit impatient back there behind Raj.
He looks like he's kind of they got this accordion thing going on. He catches him in one spot, Roger gets away from him in another spot. What's interesting to me will be to see how Josh Hayes plays this right now. With that 40-point lead in the championship, he knows I don't have to push this issue, but he knows his teammate has made some mistakes. So maybe if I do keep pushing him, maybe he makes a mistake and hands me another win right now.
So 2 by 2 they go through the keyhole with the 2 Monster Energy Graves Yamaha guys up front. And the 2 Yoshimura Suzuki factory guys behind them. There's a good look at Josh Hayes working that body English on that big R1.
Yeah, these are great shots, these onboard shots. We've been missing some of that. I'm glad to see that in play now. And here we are off the back straight over the top of turn 7. Really a little short run down in here, hard on the brakes, and let the bike sail in, and then you drive it under the bridge right here, and it's just a fun racetrack all around to ride, but at the same time a real handful.
Cam Beaubier appears to have the measure of his teammate right now.
He does, I think, and Josh may be just content to let him go by and just see what he's got, because Cam was shadowing him pretty well, and now Josh is repaying that favor. The thing they don't want to do is just kind of get to riding around and let these Suzuki riders catch up and make this a 4-bike battle for the lead.
And there's a lot of time left in this one. There's 10 to go, so at this point in time, a number of things could come into play late in the running. But right now, our American Superbike final is a battle of teammates. The Monster Energy Graves Yamaha guys in the 1-2 spot, led by Beaubier. And in the 3 spot, it is the Yoshimura Suzuki factory team led by Roger Hayden, with Martin Cardenas in hot pursuit.
Well, just to keep in mind, these races have been shortened to 16 laps from 21 original, so it could change the game plan for some of these riders. I think they got to think about they've got another race today to deal with, so to conserve a little bit of energy. But I don't think that's the case. With a short race, these riders are all in great shape. But they're going to be going for it. Just to let you know, this is a shortened race.
Yeah, you know what? I think that sprint race is kind of cool in a way. And when we look at it, what we are watching right now is 25% of the points available here in the balance of the 2014 season. There is a lot on the line. Every one of these rounds make a big, big difference. Again, as we look a little deeper in the order, I like it. Chris Fillmore's up into the 5 spot. He's got Aussie Dave covered right now. Aussie Dave Anthony running 6. Taylor Knapp, number 44, doing a great job for the TOBC team in the 7th spot. Yoshimura Suzuki's Chris Clark, number 6, running 8th. Larry Pegram now up into the 9th spot, so Pegram beginning to pick it up. But the fastest lap of the race belongs to Cam Beaubier with a 1:26.329, as Josh Hayes just turned his quickest lap of the race the last time by, so Hayes hasn't lost anything since the initial start.
Well, I got to be confident. It looks like Roger's starting. He's definitely getting away from his teammate, but still, can he pull up on the number 4 right here as we're riding aboard with Josh Hayes? These are great shots right now as he flies off that back straightaway. There's a little bit of a kink right here. They call this turn 5. Not much of a turn, just flat out for these Superbike riders. You'll see him move his butt off to the inside where the turn's going to be to kind of early prep during that brake zone, and that allows him to. The braking is downshifted, just one less thing that he has to deal with when they get to that spot.
Well, hats off to our crew. We've got our on-bike cameras working beautifully here to kick us off today. And again, Cam Beaubier, the fast lap of the race, 1:26.3, and Josh Hayes just turned his quickest lap of the race, and Roger Hayden just turned his. And as for Raj, he just made up almost 0.2 of a second on Josh Hayes, so perhaps Roger is beginning to find a little speed. He's got only 8 laps remaining, though, to close on the lead duo.
It looks like he's quicker in the first part of the race, first part of the lap, excuse me. The second half of the racetrack, it looks like the Yamaha guys can gap him just a little bit more, so it's going to be tough for him to close that gap right there. I guarantee you he's trying everything he can right now, Barry, but these Yamahas are so strong, and those 2 riders on them are really riding well.
Well, we'll see when they get back to the stripe what that equates to in terms of the gap. It's 1.088 right now from number 4 Josh Hayes, who's in the 2 spot, back to number 95, currently running in the 3 spot, Roger Hayden. And they're working their way back to the line here as Cam Beaubier continues to lead his teammate, but I don't call that much of a gap, about 4 bike lengths, the distance between Beaubier and Hayes.
Both riders looking super comfortable. They're going to encounter one of the first slower riders they're going to come upon throughout this race right now. And we'll see who that is. And
I believe that might be Matt Orange, number 24 on the BMW.
Yeah, well, they're going to catch
Oh, that's
him right
Johnny
here
Rock
in
Page.
Thunder Valley, and he's going to look over his shoulder and see them both coming. They're going to split him, and Johnny's done a pretty good job right there to let those leaders go by.
Yep, sportsmanlike move. He moved way over, gave them plenty of racing room to go by him. They're running slightly, they have been at least running slightly different lines on the racetrack. I guess that's a good idea, right?
Well, you know, it's a narrow racetrack to begin with. Some riders just feel comfortable maybe letting the bike drift out a little bit wider in the corner or entering the corner. Ultimately, they're just, you know, kind of running their own line. I don't know if they're offsetting each other looking to make a move. It's just kind of the way it is.
Josh seems to be really good under braking. He can close on his teammate in most of the braking zones, Scott, but it seems like on the corner exit, Cam is able to put a gap or two on him here.
Yeah, I think he's content just sitting with him right now, and you know, we're down to about we're 5 laps to go roughly when they come by the line this next time. Will he try something? It'll be interesting to see. Like I said, there's no real urgency for him to do anything today. He just needs to keep collecting points and make sure he stays on top of the motorcycle.
Okay, so it is a shortened race, 16 laps as opposed to the previously scheduled 21. Still, how much physical conditioning comes into play as we get near the 5 to go lap here?
Well, I mean, you know, all the time that they missed on the track yesterday was conserving energy, if you have to look at it like that. Thinking about these two guys right here out front, they do a lot of bicycling. So this is what they do. The Yamahas work well. The better your motorcycle works, the less energy you use. So I would like to think that they're both kind of in conserve mode, and they're just kind of running a nice pace, and they've got no heat from behind, and they're just kind of settling it out today between these two.
So Cam Beaubier with this time by the stripe. He'll get an indication from his pit board that it's 5 to go. He's got his teammate Josh Hayes in tow, Roger Hayden in the 3 spot, Martin Cardenas running 4th, Chris Fillmore 5th, Aussie Dave Anthony in the 6th spot. This is your 5 to go countdown. Chris Clark running 7th, Larry Pegram 8th, Chris Elridge 9th, and Frankie Babuska running in the 10 spot. Corey West on EBR. His EBR is just on the outside of the top 10 looking in. And as for the gap, Roger Hayden is losing distance now, 2.043 the gap, so no doubt first and second are going to have to settle it amongst themselves for the top of the box. And Roger's kind of a lonely old Maytag repairman back there in the 3 spot at the moment.
He gave it a good effort, you know, there in that part of the race, early part, but just sees that they just can't hold pace with these Yamaha guys here. And, you know, it could be the bike setup wasn't where he wanted it to be, and that's highly possible with the lack of time that they've gotten on track.
Watching two of the best in the business right now going to work at Mid-Ohio Sports Car Course. Coming up next is GoPro Daytona Sport Bike, and those riders are absolutely getting prepped right now because there's not going to be much downtime at all until the start of our GoPro Daytona Sport Bike race number 1 coming up shortly as Beaubier will scream across that stripe one more time. I tell you, we've got a good one going on here. This race for the lead is a strategic deal right now. I think there's still some strategy to be played out. Do you?
Yeah, I think so. I don't think if Josh can get a win, he's going to go for it. Cam's going to do everything he can to hold him off. But I don't know. When I look at these riders, there's a big difference in riding style. And when you talk about conserving energy, I'd have to think the Hayes is conserving more than Cameron at this point. Still don't think that's an issue with these two guys. I just think that's what's going down. And Josh looks comfortable sitting right on him, and he can roll right up on his rear wheel as they get in the mid-corner. It's a little bit different, you know, in some of the corners than others, but he's got no problem sitting on the number 2 right now.
And it might be a little bit hard for you to answer this, but maybe it won't. But if you think Josh Hayes is capable of making a move on his teammate, is it going to come by rolling up on him deep in the corner and powering out, or do you think it'll come under braking?
It's going to come. It's going to have to take a mistake by Cameron, or it's going to come under braking off that back straightaway. There's just not a lot of passing opportunities on this racetrack, especially when you're racing a guy that y'all are so closely matched. He's not going to force the issue in any crazy place on the track. So if the door doesn't open, I suspect he'll give it a shot off the back straight sometime.
And that makes perfect sense to me with a 40-point lead coming into this race and 4 races remaining. And right now, if they can run 1-2 for the last 4 races, Josh Hayes will easily cruise to his 4th championship in American Superbike.
So it'll be interesting to see how they get out of this keyhole. To me, this is the most important corner on the racetrack. It leads onto the longest straightaway. Obviously, that means a lot in top speed and lap time. So Josh is right there with him. And just to kind of give a little look at maybe what might happen, this is where Cam passed him earlier in the race. It's the premier place to pass on the racetrack. It's the safest place to pass. But Josh seems to be not really sticking his nose up in there, not even really looking at that just yet.
I was going to add the word yet to the end of the sentence, but you took care of that for me because it's 3 laps remaining, and Josh was doing what you said. I mean, he's going to have to tuck it up in there because that's your best passing opportunity. Hayes obviously knew that too because he was right there ready to strike but chose not to perhaps. But that may be where we see the move take place here in the closing moments of this American Superbike race number 1. It'll be 2 to go when they come back to the line next time.
Little Dave, Aussie Dave and Chris Clark and Larry Pegram, little trio right here, got their own little race going as they make their way through 7, 8, 9 area. And Larry's had to come from back a little ways to catch these guys. Let's see if he can do anything with them.
And that is the battle for the 6th spot right now. And Aussie Dave Anthony's got it. And Chris Clark and Pegram would love to take it away from him. But Aussie Dave is really hanging on to that spot, unwilling to relinquish it. But Chris Clark's got a good motorcycle underneath of him. Paris Suzuki's going at it right there.
It really is just a tough place to get by somebody. You know, so these guys could actually finish the race just like they're running right now. They could, but you know, sometimes you gotta have to force the issue. If you don't get that good drive down that back straightaway, then it's gonna be a real difficult task to get by someone.
That's your 5th place rider that just went by us, number 11, Chris Fillmore, and this is that battle for the 6th spot right behind him. Fillmore's got a comfortable little space cushion in front and behind him, so he's not threatened by anyone. The same could not be said for Aussie Dave Anthony. He's got his hands full here with Chris Clark right now. He's looking for a way around him.
Well, Chris should have the speed on him right here. Now, this should be able to close the deal right here as he runs right around him on the outside in turn 5, puts the brakes on. So definitely the Yoshimura Suzukis are as good as they get out here on the racetrack as far as Suzuki's goes. So Dave's going to be a little bit down on speed, and look at that little bobble from Cam as they come across the line right there, and Josh is still shadowing his teammate.
And I don't know, I don't know about bobble, but the front tire was about 4 inches off the ground, and he was full throttle right there. We saw the power of that R1 traction control, didn't we?
Well, it's wheelie control, and that's what these guys need. That allows them to stay full throttle. Now let's see right here. Josh is super close. I think he's going to line him up, Barry, for a move.
Well, we will find out. That certainly is, as Scott has explained to us, the place on the racetrack to make it happen.
This is his last shot to do it.
The white flag has been displayed to our field, and right now Scott Russell's shaking his head no. He doesn't maybe perhaps think there's going to be a pass attempt yet. I think Josh might try him into the final corner and down the front stretch.
He could try something right down here.
Oh, boom, just like that.
Look at that. Now he's going to run it a little bit wide. That's the problem with that. But he had to make a go at it, and he's still got a couple corners maybe down on the inside here. After Thunder Valley, there's still an opportunity.
So there's no doubt that Josh Hayes is unwilling to just ride along and take a 2nd place out of race number 1. We've got an intense battle for the win here, ladies and gentlemen, on fanschoice.tv at Mid-Ohio.
So Cameron did a good job covering that inside line. That's going to make Josh go around the high line, and that's not going to work here. Short run to the finish line.
Yep, that's a done deal. Cam Beaubier is going to lead him across the stripe and win race number 1 for the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team. His teammate Josh Hayes will follow him, and the two of them will do somewhat of a fist bump there. That had to be a fun race. Let's throw it down trackside with Cam Beaubier's crew chief. Danielle's got him.
Rick. That's right, Barry. I'm trying to catch up with Rick Hobbs down here. A lot of excitement, obviously, over Cameron's win. Rick, congratulations on the win. That was a hard-fought battle the whole race.
Yeah, I mean, those guys raced hard, but they raced clean. It was really fun to watch. A little nervous, but yeah, great race. Glad they were able to put on a show for the fans after hanging around all day yesterday waiting for something to happen.
Congratulations, Cam Beaubier and Rick Hobbs.
Wow, I like that, Danielle. Great job. I know she's got to hustle now and make her way down to the podium as we saw a nice victory wheelie or at least a celebratory wheelie from a great second-place finish out of Josh Hayes. Cam Beaubier right there waving to all the fans here around the who've lined this racetrack here at Mid-O. You can hear him clapping as he goes through the various corners. They just saw a great SuperBike. There he is. He's celebrating right here. Cam Beaubier, number 2, has put his Monster Energy Graves Yamaha atop the box. And Danielle will be there to greet our top 3 finishers. Following that, John Phippen will take control of our victory podium. And I promise you, as soon as podium is over, the GoPro Daytona Sport Bike teams will be lining it up and getting set to go, and we will be there to cover it. Fans waving T-shirts and caps all around this racetrack. Very, very cool. Cam knows the way. He knows how to get there. He's been here before. He won both GoPro Daytona Sport Bike races last year, Scott Russell. So he is no stranger to the top of the box here.
No, but he'll be proud of this one. His first Superbike win at Mid-Ohio, and you know, Josh made him earn that one. He didn't hand it to him and gave him a shot down there on the last lap, and I'm glad he did. And you had to try. You know, he knew he probably wasn't going to stick that one, but Cam was right there to make that crossover move back underneath him and bring that thing home in first.
He climbs off that machine. A happy guy. He has done it. And we're going to throw it down to Danielle. She's going to bring us our top 3 finishers' live thoughts as they climb off the motorcycles. Here's Danielle.
Thank you, Barry. That's right. Guys are just getting off the bikes after a hard-fought race. I'm going to catch up with 3rd place here, Roger Hayden. Roger fought a hard battle. You fought a hard battle with your teammate for the first half of the race, but the second half of the race was all you. Roger, congratulations on another podium finish.
Hey, thanks. You know, beginning of the race, I felt pretty good, but then I started making a lot of mistakes and stuff there toward the midway, and you know, I'm a little disappointed for the distant third, but happy to be on the podium. For my guys, I crashed yesterday, made them do a lot of work, but you know, we had some data and stuff, so confident the Yoshimura team will get the bike working better for the second race, and going to push a little harder and try to make it more interesting at the front.
Congratulations. 3rd place to Roger Hayden. Let's go on over to 2nd place, Josh Hayes, the number 4. Josh, that was a hard-fought race between you and your teammate. It was back and forth all the way to the line. Congratulations on 2nd place here today.
Yeah, thanks. It was really kind of more lead-follow, I think, but had to try something on the end, and knowing it was my teammate, I probably went a little deeper in there to make sure I got by him than I needed to, but I gave it a shot. He beat me today, and we get to go at it one more time this afternoon. So feeling good about this afternoon's race.
Congratulations on 2nd place, Josh Hayes. Let's move on over to 1st place here today, Cam Beaubier. Cam, you fought a hard race with your teammate Josh. It was like you knew it's coming down to the line in terms of the championship. You fought very hard. Congratulations on 1st place and breaking his winning streak.
Yeah, thanks. I just, first of all, got to give it up to my Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team. They've been, working so hard. Limited track time this weekend, but I'm glad they got us out on track, and we were able to do 2 races today. So, and Shoei and Alpine Stars for keeping me safe, and the man above, and and go try to do it again.
Congratulations, Cameron Beaubier, on 1st place here today. Race 1 for Superbike is in the books, and I'm going to throw it on up to podium. All right, we're going to catch up with Chuck Graves of Monster Energy Graves Yamaha. Chuck, congratulations on a very good race. 1-2 for you guys again here today.
Yep, you guys are doing a great job.
You guys are working very hard over there. Unusual circumstances this weekend, but you pulled it off nonetheless.
Yep. I can't say enough about both those riders and the whole team.
Yeah, you're just sitting back here casually observing, like, yes, we did it. Of course we did it.
Well, I don't know about that.
And the championships, insights for 1-2 of your riders.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, Danielle.
Yes, sir. Chuck Graves hanging out here watching both his guys had a very successful race.
Hey, great job, Danielle. Chuck Graves, not too talkative this morning. He just knows his guys just did exactly what they had, the plan they had laid out, and that is to get both of those machines to the head of the class and then work it out from there. So we're going to go back down because Danielle's busy down there in Victory Circle. Here's Danielle.
Thanks, Barry. I'm catching up with Keith McCarty again here. He's giving me a hard time in Victory Circle. Keith, congratulations on a great race one.
Yeah, thank you very much. Went really nice. A great racing for the fans, and a beautiful day here in Ohio, so we're pretty pleased.
Now, how do your guys juggle one very experienced rider and one a little less experienced, obviously, between Cam and Josh, with conditions like we've been dealing with this weekend?
You know, Josh is kind of the patriarch of the team here and matriarch, and he really works with Cameron, too. They really get along good off the track, but, of course, they both want to win on the track. But, you know, they both have their own routines they'll work on in between motos here and races, and we'll see how the second one comes out.
Congratulations on a successful race one.
Thank you so much.
And the question of the day is, can Beaubier win race number 2 and do the double? That's going to be the trick.
Yeah, I think he'll have some confidence on his side for sure after winning that first one, and he'll know that maybe I'll close the door on that one little area down in turn 8 if that happens again, and so he'll learn from that and go on to the next round. And Josh as well. Josh saw exactly what he's got to offer as far as his competition, so Josh will have a plan for race 2.
John Phippen conducting his victory podium celebration here. He's taking care of things down there trackside and doing his customary great work as he'll interview the top 3, and we will transition our hot pit over from American Superbike to GoPro Daytona Sport Bike. We've got 21 riders right now suited up down along the hot pit area and getting set to do battle, and I promise you this will not be any kind of a boring race. GoPro Daytona Sport Bike today potentially could be one of the best races of the day in a field of great races.
Oh yeah, I can't wait for this one. This is always produces a bunch of great racing wherever we go, and this track I think could really bring a great race to the fans and everybody watching at home. So get ready because it's coming soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm racing against a few really tough competitors, and it feels great to get a win here especially after the limited track time we had. I'm really excited to go out there and do it again, or try to do it again. And I really got to thank my Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team, giving me an amazing bike. And like Josh said, the R1 is I'm lucky to ride it. So Shoei and Alpine Stars for keeping me safe, and the man above.
All right, let's get our trophies presented to our top 2 finishers. Kelsey Clark making the presentation to Josh Hayes, and to our winner, Cam Beaubier. I'll get out of the way so the champagne can get sprayed, and we'll get the bikes gridded for our next race on the card, the GoPro Daytona Sport Bikes next up.
Well, I tell you what, to the victor go the spoils, and there he stands right there. Cam Beaubier on the Monster Energy Graves Yamaha team beat his teammate, winning race number 1. The question is, who is going to win race number 2? As you could see, the two of them went at it for every lap, including the last one, and it was Cam Beaubier who will emerge victorious. As we transition to GoPro Daytona Sport Bike race number 1, this will be a 14-lap race, originally scheduled to be 19, and the distance has been shortened. And the reason is because we have 7 national road races to do here today at the doubleheader. And remember now, the race times matter because your best lap time will determine your starting order in race number 2. So this is going to be very, very interesting to watch how these numbers unfold here today. So we are going to have a 3-minute horn coming up at 11:39. That means we will have our warm-up lap at 11:42. And that we are going to be starting your starting lineup here in a couple of 3 minutes as Danielle, the busiest girl certainly down there along the hot pit lane, making her way back. She'll try to catch the thoughts of 1 or 2 folks down along the hot pit, and we will be back with your starting lineup here momentarily. And with that, we say many, many thanks to our friends at GoPro. Couldn't do it without you guys. Thank you to GoPro, enhancing all of our life's most exciting riding moments. GoPro, the world's most versatile camera and producer of some of today's most engaging content, is proud to be the official camera sponsor of AMA Pro Road Racing. Visit GoPro.com for the latest news.